Well, welcome back, everybody, to another Wednesday. I'm so excited. We have an extra special guest today, Tiffany Murphy in the house.
Hello, hello, hello.
How you doing this evening?
I am actually good. I will not complain.
Awesome, awesome. Well, they say 'tis the season.
Yes, you got to hit that silent night, that temptation.
Listen. That's how you know what the season is, because we got a song for everything. Okay. See, last month there was green beans, mashed potatoes. That became our anthem, right? And now you know who house you in when you hear this in the background. This is when you know it's Christmas time. But it ain't Christmas until.
Yeah. That's it. The tree has officially lit up. There we go.
Exactly. Because you know that the tree go up on Thanksgiving Day, right?
Yes, actually, mine will go up until Monday, but we're not going to talk about that.
That's all right. You get it. But this is season. When you hear that in the background, it is officially Christmas. Nothing else matters. Even if the tree ain't up, as long as you play that in the background, it's
officially Christmas.
Okay?
Officially
Christmas. And then, since the season too, when you trying to put up stuff, the decorations and the churn of somebody in the background. You know you at somebody big mama house, especially in the WG household. You at somebody big mama house. When you putting up the tree, oh yes, Lord, sister on the floor, bless you, baby, yes, Lord. Why you put that thing down? You see me on the floor right now. Hallelujah. This is all right. It's Christmas time, Lord. Lord, I don't think that's all right. This churn over here, but it's all right. It's all right. Now, you better put that. I know you gotta put them twice on that tree. You better smile. You better smile for this picture.
No. For me coming up, the way that I knew it was Christmas, my grandmother and my mom's mother was huge on Christmas. So like at her house, everything, like she had these ducks that sat on the front porch and just random stuff. Everything went away and everything switched to Christmas things. So it was like Santa Claus went in the window, the tree went up, and the ducks went away. So that's how I knew that it was officially Christmas. And so I carried that with me, and that's kind of she's my reason for loving the holidays. So, yeah.
Well, like my mother collected angels, and they really came out at the holiday time. And for me, it was the smell. When you see I can never pronounce it, the red plant, okay?
Oh, the poinsettias?
Yes. When I always be like poinsettia, the red plant, when they come out. And then when you walk in every store and you got that mix of that cinnamon and the pine, that's when I know it's the holiday time.
Exactly.
And I don't know about you, but it became like a family tradition where we went to Krispy Kreme and we drove around the corner, went to James Island County Park to see the lights. We drove around at least twice, and then we got out the car and we walked around, and we got our hot chocolate and our s'mores. That was like the best time ever, because it was like we never had so much sweets in our life. And all the time was like, woo, 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 woo. But they knew what they was doing, because they set us up. We knew we was gonna be up all night. And they told us, yeah, you can stay up as late as you want tonight. Woo, it was so game. We had our bellies full from dinner. Then we got all these sweets. And by the time we walked around that park and got in the car, we was done.
And see, we didn't have a James Island County Park in Lugoff, which is where I'm from, which is 2 hours that way.
Yeah, but you will have to explain that, because I'm still trying
that way. Get on 26 and 20 and just drive. But we didn't have that, but people decorated their yards around town. So what we would always do, like even in our church, what we would do is get all the kids on a van and drive around different neighborhoods to look at lights. So we didn't have like a James Allen or a Santee Cooper. We had, the neighborhoods, and that's kind of how we did things. So when I got here and had the chance, I remember the first time I went to James Allen, I was like a 2-year-old. Like I'm literally hanging out of the passenger side window, like, oh my gosh, that's Hickory Dickory Dock. That's the Cinderella. So if you haven't been out there, I strongly recommend going. It is definitely a treat. It is a treat.
Yes.
So yes.
Absolutely. And listen, we love doing it. And it's funny because as you get older, you start going, wait a minute, ain't that the same lights from? But you know what? It's about the experience, no matter what. And I ain't gonna lie, especially times is hard during this pandemic. So we ain't gonna be going to the James Allen County, but we already know what them lights look like. So like you said, the neighborhood. I mean, people are going all out.
Yes.
So we go neighborhood surfing, and we've seen some amazing things and some very unique decorations, which are awesome.
But my neighborhood, they have Santa Claus riding off the roof right down the street.
What? You free lights. See, that's when you get in the car and you little chirp like, yes, y'all. They so excited. We're going to the park. And then we drive around the corner, and they be like, I thought we was going. You got your snacks, right? You got your snacks. Okay.
So we're gonna go around and look at lights.
Exactly. You will see more lights than you have ever seen them.
Exactly. And James Allen, I noticed that they add like 1 or 2 different light displays, but you're right. It's the experience. It's the experience. And, this is my favorite time of year. For one, it's my birthday. And for 2, definitely the holidays. So I love family. I always have loved family. So.
And listen, I cannot keep up. I be trying so hard. I thought I was on game, but if y'all don't know, Tiffany Murphy is the queen of birthday freebie, okay? The queen
number 5.
Okay? Listen, she had to download all types of apps, and I still ain't got half of them. And I was just happy. And now I got to find extra special apps because I learned that all the time I had a gluten allergy. So now all the birthday freebies I keep getting that I already registered for, I keep getting a little light, and I'd be like, nah, Krispy Kreme, I can't have that. No. But I've found that places like Firehouse Subs and stuff, they have a lot of gluten-free things, So, yeah. But it's okay. But I'm telling you, if you don't know, you better look, you better find her, okay? Because you need to get up on them birthday freebies. You ain't got to eat. You ain't paying for nobody meal. You got to cook for the month of December. Listen, I'm still trying to get on your level. I just don't know if I can touch. I don't know how you do it.
And the funny thing is, it was the most random thing one year. Like, it was the most random. I was just like, I got a freebie from somewhere, and I said, oh my gosh, if they're giving these out, there's got to be other people giving them out. So I just started like registering all these different places. And so my tip and trick is because email can become overwhelming. So I start in November, and I register for everybody. So if I got to have a 30-day window, I meet it. And then as I use them, I unsubscribe from people until November of next year. So therefore, excuse me. So therefore, I don't have like a list of things coming in my email every day. So, this year I started a week late, and one of my Facebook friends picked on me and was like, oh, we thought we were freebie free this year. And I hope he's listening. But he was like, I thought we were freebie free this year. And I said, no, of course not. What makes you think that? And so I'm on freebie like number 4 or 5 right now, and I'm only 3 days into the week.
See,
and I'll probably go get one when we end.
Well, listen, I'm gonna roll this back because you try to slide this in here. But so Tiffany is in Charleston, South Kakalaki, but by way of Lou Golf. Listen, I don't know if y'all heard. Hold on, Lou Golf, and she's not joking. It's a real place, okay? And Tiffany, even though she's from South Kakalaki, came to Charleston and learned real quick. She had to learn another language. And we're still working on that, right? Because,
Yes, we are. I'm about to call him my interpreter.
Yes, from the land of the Gullah Geechee. Okay. All right. And I said, Tiffany, You know, when we sit there, like I've done some things. I'll tell y'all a little bit about how I met Tiffany and how this relationship grew and came to be. But let's just say that there's times where I go from this and then, I don't want you to tell me like that. I don't, you just kind of flip and it comes out of you and she be like,
Exactly.
you won't say that again? You ain't heard me? Because, you gotta get you when you go in and out your voice and, people you're talking like this. And, there's a conversation, the way you talk at home, the way you talk to people in the street. And then sometimes, especially when you get a little upset, all of it just come out.
Yes. That's how I actually learned that one of my colleagues was from Charleston when I worked in Columbia. He got upset one day. And I said, "Where are you from?" Like, wait. And he was just like, "They don't know me." I was like, whoa. I wasn't even focused on the argument. I was focused on, I said, where are you from? And he's like, "No, I'm upset." No. We'll get back to that in a second. Where are you from? And that's when I first experienced the whole Gullah Geechee language and the dialect. And I was like, so when I got here, I had to learn it quickly, or at least learn to kind of dissect some words and listen through things. And you have been an amazing teacher because you kind of introduced me to the culture itself. Like I knew the dialect existed, but you kind of introduced me more to the culture and the nation and kind of like all of how it flows together and why it's important to Charleston. So you taught me a whole lot along the way. So I appreciate you, Miss Anastasia.
Thank you. You're welcome. But listen, you was a learner one way or another.
I fail here where people are from random places. I can go with the North over here.
And see, speaking of the culture, what have you learned? Because I mean, there's some things, some telltale signs. Last week I was talking with other college towns. We talking about, you got like each one, you got rice for like every meal for your lunch, your second lunch, your dinner, your snack in between, and then your midnight snack. It's some type of rice, most of it. But what you learn? What helps you identify Gullah Geechee folks?
Rice has been a big thing for me. Because actually, one of the guys I went to college with was from Walterboro. And that's when I was like, "Why do you eat rice with everything?" And he was like, "This is what we do." So I learned about the rice and what else? Of course, the dialect itself, like there's certain, but it's interesting how some people can kind of turn it all the way off and turn it on. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute, hold on. And those are really the two for me. Because I mean, the rest of it, I'm always interested in learning about different places, people, and things. So for me, I was more fascinated by it than anything. So it really didn't like scare me. It was more of, I want to know more. Like, what is this? What is this dialect you speak to me? I want to know what's more. So I like to kind of dive into more. And so, like I said, I've learned about through the basket weave. I actually had the chance to take a basket weaving class when I first got here. When I kind of wanted to venture out and learn the city, I took a basket weaving class, and it kind of taught me a little bit more about the dialect and the sweetgrass and all of that, because I'd seen it in passing, but I never learned it. And then, like I said, kind of meeting you and getting exposed to more of it, and kind of like throughout Charleston, you see it infused in different things. And most important thing, I had the opportunity to taste a chewy, and it changed my whole life.
Ooh, the chewy, the Charleston chewy, yeah.
Because we had never heard of chewies. You don't hear about them in the middle of the state. They don't exist. So when I got here, a coworker had them, and I was like, "What is that?" And like, "It's a chewy." I said, "What's a chewy?" Ate it, was hooked ever since. That is the other telltale for me.
Yes. And then look, we volunteered at the first Charleston Vegan Soul Fest. And there was a booth with chewies. And there were different flavors of chewies. And I was introduced to the Snickerdoodle chewy. And it was vegan. And I was like, oh my God. This is on a whole nother level. So, yes, you're right. The chewy. And there ain't no chewy like a Charleston chewy, I'm telling you. There's some folks try to imitate.
It's definitely something different. And if you've never had one, find you somebody and get you one. I know quite a few people that make them. May I plug a local bakery? Can I
Yes,
plug a local bakery?
please plug
So
away.
Elegant Treats LLC out of Moncks Corner makes amazing chewies. They have pecan, snickerdoodle, the regular one, cookie and cream. Like, go check her out. Her name's Faith. You'll love it. You love it.
That's who was at the Vegan Soul Fest. Yes.
Yes, it was.
Yes. So yeah, I'll definitely be ordering. Well, I was gonna say making, but I'm lying. But I'll be ordering some for the holidays to give a gift. And I'll be like, yes, I elegantly made this treat as I purchased it from.
That's not a pat. You trying to do a Patty's pie? No, ma'am.
Don't even listen.
No,
that ain't even right. That ain't even. I don't know who decided. I'm Patty. I love you, Patty, but you need to take your name off them. But we ain't gonna go there. That's other stuff. Yeah. But I want to come to you a little bit, Tiffany, because speaking of the culture, art is a huge part. We make so many things, and I love the fact that you've also embraced that in yourself. And one of the things I want everybody to know, and you can always check this out on our website. Tiffany's also listed there on our the Power of the Art blog. When you go to the website, you'll see Tiffany here as our special guest. And like I mentioned, she is here by way of Luca. But she has been crocheting for over 15 years now and found it to be her place of peace and calm. Tiffany created the Crafty Creation Shop as a way to share her gift with the world. She says, I crochet everything from blankets to earrings. Follow Tiffany on Facebook at Crafty Creations 2K14. And she looks forward to the opportunity to one day create for you. Tell us a little bit more about your crocheting and how you embrace your creativity.
Well, for me, a lot of things in my life that I tend to dive into, I won't say start them by mistake, but my curiosity leads me to try different things. So the way I started crocheting was I went to an aunt's house and we went to visit my uncle, and we were sitting there and I looked at her and I was like, hey, Aunt Lil, can you teach me to crochet? And she looked at me like I was crazy, first of all. She was like, do what? And I said, can you teach me to crochet? And she gave me a hook, gave me some yarn, and she taught me how to chain. And I was like, okay, so I played with chains, and I had chains like they were like long, long chains, because that's all I knew how to do. And so then I kept at it with just the chains, just trying to figure out how to hold a hook and stuff. And then another lady at my church, I didn't know she crocheted, so she taught me how to like go up one row. Right. And then I had another friend who I didn't know she crocheted, and I went to her house and I was like, oh, we're gonna have a crochet party. Let's do it. So we go to crochet, and she always picks on me about this. I started crocheting and I was like, I'm gonna crochet a hat. That's what I'm gonna do. I could not get out of the circle. So I made a that was rock solid. So we always joke that I made a hard hat. So that's our running joke. And but through all of that, so I kind of learned to crochet just at that. And so over the years, I've definitely increased my skill, just kind of learning it. And of course, I always give glory to God, because each year it gets easier and easier and easier. But all of that to say that, yes, I do crochet. So I crochet blankets. I've crocheted a sweater, which was a huge accomplishment. I just started crocheting socks, which has been awesome. And I crochet earrings now. So the earrings have been probably my funnest item to crochet besides the socks. And unfortunately, I don't have a pair right here next to me to show you. But,
that's okay.
But yes, the earrings have become.
I am going to pull. I can hear you right now. I got you. I am.
Okay.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I am pulling up.
So I'm saying I didn't crochet these. These aren't crochet. Oh, okay. I'm gonna say these aren't crochet. But yeah, so like I said, crocheting earrings has definitely been fun. It's definitely tested my creativity. And I have to give a shout out to my Facebook fam. Have to give a shout out to Facebook family because everybody challenges me all the time with different projects. So I'll get messages like, hey, try this, try this. So I have to definitely give a shout out to you guys and say thank you for pushing my creativity bounds. I appreciate it. So I do the socks, as you can see the earrings there. Also too, I do pocket shawls, which is like it's a shawl with pockets. So I think it's one of those on there as well. What else? Like I said, blankets. I did a sweater. I don't do sweaters for sale yet because that's not necessarily a strong point yet. But it did look like a sweater. It was not a Donna Karen shirt. And mask extenders have been a big call out as well because in the world that we live in, we are bound by mask. So I do mask extenders as well, which is there. And yeah, so I think those are pretty much the main things that I crochet. But if you think of anything that you want me to try, by all means, send it. I love my creative balance being tested. And that's my sister. I made those, and I actually make the socks. I can change the calves on, so like that's a super wide calf. So I know as being a girl with bigger calves, it's hard to find things that fit over our calves up to our knees. So these are customizable. I can customize them in size. So that's a plus size option. But like I said, you'll see different earrings. And awesome. I had the amazing opportunity to set up a table at a pop-up shop and sell my crochet items for the first time on Black Friday. So that was an amazing opportunity that definitely kind of taught me a lot about the business and the business side of things. But definitely, like I said, I love crocheting. It's my happy place. It's my peaceful place. And I've been doing it for about 15 years total.
Oh, and is this a baby blanket here?
Yes, it is. So this is actually a baby comfort blanket. So as you notice, there's a big elephant in the middle of this thing, right? So it's an item that if you pull it up, and I think it's a picture where it's pulled up, and a child can actually carry it around as that toy, that security toy that they like to carry. And there it is. So you know how kids carry that doll or that bear or whatever, that blanket around. They never want to wash it, or it just gets dirty and dingy and torn up over time. Well, this item right here, they can carry it like like a blanket, or they can carry it like a toy, and it's washable. It's kid safe because there are no plastic parts. Excuse me, no plastic parts on it, and it opens up into a blanket, so it can help you at nap time. Anything for them to carry around. So therefore, you don't have to carry 2 or 3 different items. So it's pretty cool. And that one was actually a fun little item I made and loved it. And I made one in pink and purple, and then this one. So yes, that's definitely one of my favorites.
Awesome. And then you do customize like scarves. You can pick colors and hats, and you can customize. So you make your things to order, and you can choose a color pattern. Is that correct?
Yes, you can choose colors, and that's anything from blankets to earrings. Everything that I do, I can do in different colors. That particular scarf right there was I called it Cool Runnings because that was one of my favorite movies. But Cool Runnings, and an interesting fact about that scarf is that scarf actually traveled all the way to Jamaica.
Wow.
So that scarf is actually in Jamaica at this moment. Mm-hmm.
What about this here?
So this is a shawl. This is actually one of my favorite color patterns. It's called Brickle, and it's a shawl. And so basically it's something that you would wrap around you. People that have oversized scarves, this is one of those things you can kind of just throw around you. So it's something that it actually sold it to, I'm trying to remember. Yes, it was a younger person that actually purchased it for the mother, and they wanted to give her something that she could wrap up in church and different things. And so this was the item that they chose, and I loved making it. This was actually a fun pattern to use, and it's that versatile item. You can use it at home, you can wrap it as a scarf, or you can wrap it around you as a shawl.
Awesome. And then is this a bow?
So this is actually a headband. So with the headbands, because I have natural hair, it's not always, instead of a hat, you can do headbands. And the headbands will, of course, cover your ears to keep your ears warm, but let your hair breathe. So,
Mm-hmm.
yes, ma'am.
That's amazing.
I
I
think what
love the
else? Let's see
beauty.
what else is on there.
I don't mind do some additional jewelry as
And
well.
my sister does jewelry. Yeah, my sister does beaded jewelry. And so that's why you'll see that on there as well. So she does beaded jewelry. That's one of her bracelet rings. And she does earrings, bracelet rings, bracelets, necklaces. So that's something that we're kind of revamping into the Crafty Creation shop. So you will see more of that as time goes on. You'll kind of see some newer designs as time goes on.
So you can purchase her items from Crafty Creations as well.
Yes. So kind of a sister duo, and yes, we look alike.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Yes,
And
we
I
look
think
just alike.
yeah, y'all, I'm telling you, when you look at them, you're like, are you sure y'all not twins?
No, we're 7 years apart, believe it or not. So, yeah, and like different hat designs, and these are things like these are some of the earlier things that I did. But all of them kind of have a story because they were all made with someone in mind. Based on what someone told me about their idea of what they wanted. And people tell me I want a hat in these colors. This is what I need. Hey, let me look, and they'll send me some ideas. And what I'm really good about is once I make it, I'll send it to you, get your approval. If it's good, then you'll get the package in the mail.
Awesome. And typically, how long does it take you to make any of these items?
So earrings take roughly about maybe an hour to an hour and a half for a pair. Blankets can take probably about 2 days, 2 to 3 days, just kind of starting and stopping a little bit. Because again, everything is very intricately done. So, got to make sure to protect the wrist. So with blankets, I always tell people to give me about some blankets just to kind of allot time to start and stop, get yarn, different things I need to do. With the socks, those usually take about 4 hours. So it just depends on what the item is. If I have to change yarn throughout the item, the size of it and different things. So it's a lot of different factors that play into the time. But over the years, I've definitely gotten much faster with things, but I focus on quality. And my biggest thing is quality and personalization. So what I definitely try to do is number one, I wouldn't sell you something that I wouldn't purchase myself. Number two, I wouldn't give you something that I didn't put my all into, because people trust me with gifts. People trust me with, different things that they're wanting to bless people with. So I want to make sure that I protect craft that was blessed to me to be a blessing to somebody else. And the other part of that is personalization. So I'm real big on personalization. Somebody told me, they was like, you don't have to put my stuff in a frilly bag and write me a card. And I'm like, no, that's who I am. So everything comes with the personalized touch, whether it's my signature or the sticker, or whether it's a nice little card thanking you for purchasing for me, because my grandmother told me something a long time ago. People don't have to do anything for you. People choose to do things for you. Absolutely. And I take that to heart. So I'm big on that.
And that is called something that many people have forgotten these days: work ethic.
Yes.
Honestly, it can go so far. So I appreciate you sharing that, because that quality versus just quantity, and that personalization, and remembering that, like you said, as your grandmother told you, here you go again with remembering how culture can be brought to the table, including in your business. But grandmother taught you that people don't have to; they're choosing to do something for you.
Exactly.
And even our work ethic, our customer service, all of those things are choice, but they make the world of a difference. I remember I got my extenders in the mail. And, well, of course, my beautiful daughter saw it before I did, because she was all in the bag before I could really open up my package. And yes, something was in there for her, but, automatically it's ours. What's hers is hers, and what's mine is ours.
That's my buddy.
Yes. So she was so excited, and you're absolutely right. Seeing that card and getting that personal touch, it kind of warms your heart, and it makes you want to continue on again. So I love that you do that, and you put your best foot forward. And like you said, making sure that you wouldn't send out something that you wouldn't purchase, something you would spend your money on, because people are investing in your product and you in a sense. So
Exactly.
I think that's great. And I mean, there's been many places I've been to where work ethic and customer service just were not are not there. You know, I don't want to mention the name, McDonald's. You know, but
Look, let's try to give you a Chick-fil-A experience, okay? Because it is my pleasure
thank you.
to
I was like,
design for you.
maybe, you
It's
know,
my pleasure.
I'm
No, but
just
seriously, like I absolutely, because the thing is, I learned that this is a gift that was given to me. This is not something that I went to school for. This is not something I've ever been formally taught. This is not something that, somebody sat down and showed me for hours or anything like that. It's throughout the years. Like I've taken snippets from people, and then throughout the years, it's like, things that were once difficult to me have now become easy. And that's why I'm like, God, you keep expanding this. And I'm a firm believer that, as he expands things, these things begin to make room for you. These things are the things you need to tap into. These are the things that are considered your part of your calling, so to speak. And so I definitely try to make sure that I protect that because, to whom much is given, much is required, right?
absolutely.
so so
And
I
I love
try to hold fast to that, and I make sure I give out quality products. And like I said, when people test my creativity, I absolutely love it. Like I have somebody that reached out the other day and was like, "Hey Tiffany, have you ever made a bow tie?" I'm like, "A do what?"
I was just thinking that. Oh my gosh, get out of my head. I was like, I wonder if she can make me a bow tie. Because I love ties. I love ties.
I know.
So, oh my goodness, that was awesome. It's
So I
funny you
got
say
asked to try a bow tie. So that's one of my January products that I'll be trying. And it was so funny because I don't know how to tie a bow tie at all. But I make one though. I'm gonna try to make one.
and I
So
love that
we
you
gotta go.
your horizon. Because you just tapped into something else that's very vital, especially with LGBT culture. We talk about how gifts are innately already in us. It's in our bloodline. It's a part of who we are. And it makes me think of that story, one of the few stories that was drilled into my brain, but biblically. But it's about that man that had many talents that he buried in the sand.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, especially in this busy, busy world, where here in US of A, money comes first. You got to pay this bill, you got to pay that bill, and no matter if the money stops flowing, guess what? The bills don't. So you got to find ways. We get so distracted, we forget about those things that we've had, or we can't work on them. For example, I, you know, most people don't know, but my degree is in modern languages, and I actually focus on studying Spanish. But if you don't use it, you lose it. So
Exactly.
it's up to us to invest in ourselves. I appreciate and respect that you continue to build off of your talent that's already in you, and you share
Mhm.
that, and then you team up with your sister and you help pull out her talents as well. You're both doing this together, and I think that's beautiful because they try to paint. This is when I kind of get into the real talk a little bit. And then y'all know who they is, and if you don't know who they is, then you don't need to know. But try to paint this image that we as people, black and brown people, cannot have positivity when it comes to people and grouping or successful businesses together or family. It's just not going to work.
Mhm.
But that's not true. You're proving that. You're defying those odds, and I really appreciate that. And it's women driven. You know what they say. All of us get together. Oh, that's tiny. It's all be nothing but drama. Da, 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 da. Not to say it doesn't exist, but guess what? We still can be very wonderful when it comes to work ethic and business and investment. Stop painting the picture and get out of TV, okay? Everybody ain't loving hip hop. There's so much more.
Exactly. Exactly. What I was gonna say, I agree with you 100%. I feel like Black business as a whole has gotten such a bad rap, like just across the board. And so I feel like this year, a lot of business owners that I've come across and different things on my journey, kind of learning to price and all this other stuff, it's like I've learned that there are a lot of people out here who are doing it the right way,
Mm-hmm.
but they're kind of overshadowed by the few that don't do it the right way.
Mm.
And so it's like I'm a firm believer that you have to give everybody a chance in their individual chance, and you learn as you go along. And so I definitely encourage people, to. But I mean, so let me look at it this way. Well, I'll put it this way: we live in a world of reviews. So I'll put it that way. We live in the world of Google reviews. So I encourage you to, take the time. And if you have a positive experience, take the time to share that experience on Google. Take the time to go to that business page, share that experience, because it's so easy to tell one person to tell that bad experience, and that'd be the one thing to sit there. And it may just be a one-off, or it may be their perception of something. But I feel like when we have those positive experiences, it's also on us to go out and share, the positive experiences we have as well. And that's not only with Black business, that's with any business. So that's what I would say. Like, if you have a positive experience, please go comment on the page and let me know and say hello. But I mean,
Oh, he froze on us. Tiffany, you still there? Uh-oh. Tiffany? Give us a second. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. We'll get her right back up. 1 second. Let's see if we can get her in. But she is absolutely right. There we go.
I'm still here.
Awesome. So I was just about to say, you're absolutely right. A lot of times we're so quick, especially in the heat of the moment, in the midst of emotions, we throw out all the bad stuff, but we forget to look at the positive and rate the positive. So you're absolutely right. I need to go on there myself and share my positive experience, because those are the things that make a big difference. Because I know I do look at the reviews, especially when I'm looking at a product that I'm trying to invest, because I don't know about y'all, but it's counting me pennies, So,
Exactly. Especially this year.
And it's really hard. It can be overwhelming because you see so many negative things, and it's hard. You can miss those positive things. So I absolutely agree. Please share your positive reviews. Please let people know about the good experience just as much, if not more, than the negative ones that are out there.
Exactly.
And speaking of experiences, so let me tell you, I don't know if you recall how we met exactly, because Tiffany has blossomed in bloom before my eyes. Because I think the first time we met, you were in the audience, right?
I'm trying to remember.
We've had some events. So okay,
I meet so many people. I think we met at. I think it was at.
I think you were at the Vagina Monologues. I remember.
I
do remember being in the audience.
Yes, I was. In shock. Yes, I was.
We went from the audience to the stage, and it was just so funny because at first it was like, I remember. Let's just say when you're in a production with me, you don't just get, you're in there for a treat, okay? And it was already hard enough to say the vagina monologue with people, but we're gonna go. This gonna be a whole other show. But just imagine sitting in a rehearsal and somebody asking you a question, which is in the script, but actually asking you, if your vagina could talk, what would it say? And I just remember this one moment. That right there.
It's like,
okay. And after that, it just became a part of the conversation, and we embraced it. And Tiffany then ended up on the stage in a couple of shows with us. And it was just an awesome experience. And getting to know and watch you, even just speaking in front of people after that. And also, we had an opportunity from then to be at the YWCA, and we took a class together, the one where we learned about public speaking. And I'm pretty sure we went through that. There was a couple of classes, but
yes.
We had to group up with people that we didn't know and had to even record ourselves on videotape, which was, even for me, it was it was an awakening of some sort. But that production and that experience just it brings people together. It creates this sisterhood in a sense, and it's just amazing to see the relationships that continue. I'm also wearing one of the shirts from something else we're connected to. I Am Voices. I don't know, y'all can't see the whole shirt, but anyway, there was an event Megan hosts a lot of events that deal with domestic violence, and she supports and does so much in the community. And Tiffany had an opportunity to be there too, and we volunteered together. And it's just been a lot. And this stage production became blossomed and bloomed into this beautiful friendship. And I'm happy to be sitting here with Tiffany now, sharing even more of her creativity that was like hiding behind closed doors and is now out there. So I applaud you and what you've done. I tell you, technology is something that we love and just talk smack about it all at the same time. But anyway, I'll challenge you as you all can. Please do follow up and go check out Tiffany here at Crafty Creations via Facebook. I'm going to share that screen again so you can take a look at her website. She has a lot of wonderful creations. And if you go right on Facebook, you can follow her there, Crafty Creations. She has business cards, which I love. They're very unique. You can scan it and take you directly to the website. But she does socks and scarves and earrings and blankets. We have a new member in our family who I'm pretty sure I'm going to look at getting one of these wonderful blankets for as well. I think that's very unique and awesome. So please check her out at Crafty Creation. Oh, here we go. We got Tiffany back. We're just taking a look at the
My apologies.
not problem. We're just telling technology, man. Technology.
Technology is amazing when it works.
When it works. And you know, I can say it about some other things too, but I ain't go there. But check her out. You can also follow her if you did not catch it this evening. You can go right onto our website where you can also find out information about all of our guests. And visit us at togetherweshall.com. I'm going to share that really quickly as well. If you go right on to, I'm going to pull it up here. It's togetherweshall.com. And you check out our blog, the Power of Art blog. You'll see Tiffany there as well. In 1 second here, I'm going to pull it up for you. Share that screen. But you can follow us there at togetherweshall.com where you can view our website. Oh, there it goes. See, again, technology. But come visit us at togetherweshall.com. Here you'll find us. And know that Driven has evolved. Click on the Power of Art blog. Once you go there, you'll see our guests from our past week. She's our guest artist and our special guest this week. You'll learn about Tiffany. You can click here, and here you'll find out information on where you can find her on Facebook. You can contact her directly via Messenger and purchase an item. She also does customized items as well. So follow her there at Crafty Creations 2K14 on Facebook. Now, with that being said, I was very excited to have Tiffany here. And I wanted to share with you some, we talk, one of the things we do every week as well is Real Talk. And our Real Talk this week, I threw it out there. And it was this phrase, something that was just kind of pressing on my heart, is that this country is not designed for any other than hand-picked elites. And that's a conversation that can go in many different directions. That Tiffany coming back with us.
Yes, I am back, guys. Had some technical difficulties. I'm like, what is going on? So I am back.
It's all good. I know I didn't see him first. Listen. Oh yes, the first Black Secretary of State. There's a lot of changes happening this year. 2020 came in hard for us with this pandemic. But one thing I will say is, even though this country may not be designed for any other than a hand-picked elite, is that in times of this, we the survivors, we those people in service, those people that have all this creativity within us, have found ways to continue to thrive in the economy and in ourselves. And we are building businesses and making more creations and just really flourishing in ways that probably couldn't even been imagined pre-pandemic. So yes, the pandemic hurt us in a lot of ways, but it also helped us evolve in so many other ways as well. I also want to share.
And I have to agree. I was going to say, I have to agree with you 100%. I think a lot of people have kind of taken taking the time to like reevaluate life, reevaluate relationships, reevaluate skill sets, just a lot of different things. I think people are really taking this year that hasn't necessarily been the best in total circumstances, but I think that this year has definitely allowed us to learn what's important to us.
Absolutely.
So I have to agree with you.
Thank you. And I love that, because a lot of times, again, when we're in such a fast-paced environment, we don't have time to look within. We don't have time to create. We don't have time to just stop and think, or just stop and be in the moment. So this has forced us to slow down. I'm already in the teaching, and I love people, but I've been working with my child at home, and I want to say that I feel like I'm getting another degree, because this new math, y'all, Lord have mercy. I have found patience I did not know I had, okay? And, whew, child, my 7-year-old is teaching me stuff. And we just in second grade. I don't know what I'm going to do. In third grade, I'm going to have to phone a lot of friends. And I'm going to have to call on Jesus, because if this what the new math look like in second grade, Lord, I'm going to need a tutor for the tutor to help me tutor my child. But it has put me into her school and had me dissect our school system even more, because we already know that the prison pipeline system exists and that it thrives, especially in places like Charleston, South Carolina, which is why we stay at the bottom of the list for education, but we're high on crime. Because again, the system is not designed for anybody but the hand-picked elite. But
exactly,
it's made me stop and think and really look into things and go, well, what else am I teaching my child at home? Because the school can't provide what I can, And what are these lessons? Because there's been a couple of lessons that came out that were a little suspect. And I had to be like, oh, hold up now. What song they playing? Land of Love? American Fool? You want to whole hand spin a circle and sing what? Oh, no. Let me give you our national anthem, okay? This is what you're going to sing. But it forced us to really look into what's happening with our children, what's happening into our home, what's happening into our schools, and step back and get real creative, and also appreciate people like our teachers. Because I can tell you right now, the system don't appreciate us. And yes, I'm talking about CCSD and all the other teachers, because I'm coming for you. I'm telling you, you came for me, I'm coming for you. I ain't got no ties, no strings attached no more, and do nothing. But CCSD ain't showing no love for me. I get my whole program, the Delavici, dinner, luncheon, and all kind of stuff, and work my behind off, because my mother taught me that no matter what you do, you give 210%, But despite that, in our economy and just the way things are designed in America, the pay never equated to the level of work or expertise,
Exactly.
And it was really frustrating, but this pandemic was very revealing too, because in a heartbeat, because of a choice, because I said that my life and my child's life was more valuable to me, they just chewed me up and spit me out. Oh, well, good luck. I mean, they even denied. I recently, listen, I know a lot of people struggling with unemployment. And again, it just goes to show that the system isn't for us. And it's hard when you got skills and you got a degree and you're overqualified for most of the jobs. But then when you get there, you're still not qualified enough. But they don't want to pay you. At the end of the day, that's what it is they don't want to pay you what you're really worth. They can't.
That's true.
You. And it's frustrating, because then you try to take whatever. If I'm coming to you for a job, I'm letting you know that obviously I just need some money. I need to work. But in the meantime, you apply for unemployment. And I know CCSD screwed me over, and quite a few other people, because what they decided to do was deny me after approving me my FMLA, and then telling me, oh, by the way, we give you the first 2 weeks, we'll pay you that. But if you're going to be on FMLA through December or any other time period, then you on your own. You got to use your personal time, but we're not paying you. It's unpaid. Unpaid? So why am I going on it? How is that benefiting me? And when you try to contest, all of a sudden it becomes, oh, you voluntarily decided you weren't going to come, and you got to come back. Okay, but I told you, this thing called Corona, COVID-19, I don't want to die. I'm not trying to get money, but it's like, the classroom size hasn't expanded, but the amount of children has. And
Mm-hmm.
I worked with 3 to 5 year olds who ain't keeping on no math. And then on top of that, my teacher, she's teaching remotely, but they say if you want to be remote, you got to come to work in the building, but that defeats the whole purpose. I don't want to be in the building where there's still
Mm-hmm.
other people teaching their full capacity of students, 25, 26 students in a classroom, and next door and next door, and then we play recess. We still got food for the cafeteria. There's still too much going on. I couldn't do that. And for me, I have underlying health issues that put me at high risk. So no, but it wasn't their version of high risk. So at the end of the day, I was approved for unemployment, and then because CCSC said that I voluntarily quit, all of a sudden it was reneged. So just imagine how many people again chew us teachers out and spit us out. You take from us, take, but don't help. And
And I was gonna say, I think that a lot of jobs and different things that were once considered like the bottom of the totem pole have been recognized during this year, kind of like, wait a minute, you do matter.
exactly.
Because I remember somebody, it's a comedian I follow on Instagram, and he was posting a picture of like a garbage man. And he was like, half of y'all wouldn't even entertain this garbage man. He was like, because he collects garbage. But this brother's job kept him employed the entire pandemic. Like, when other people were trying to figure out where the next meal was going to come from, somebody that we would write off immediately was the person that, was necessary.
Exactly.
The same thing with like janitors and different things in the hospitals and nurses and doctors and all these different people who, we look at these professions and we're like, oh, you do it because you're supposed to. But when you learn that they are necessary, even the clerks in the store, cashiers and different things in the store, these people came to work in the middle of when everybody else was like, I don't want to go outside, or we can't go outside. These people came to work and put it all on the line every day. So I think that, I think that this year has definitely, like I said, I think it's taught us a lot about ourselves. It's taught us a lot about what's important. It's taught us a lot about how we view the world around us. Because I think a lot of times we get sheltered into our own bubbles, but I think it's good when we can be exposed to the world around us. And I think that one of the big things about the pandemic that really drew my attention was that 2020 kind of put everybody on an even playing field for once.
Yeah.
Like there was no class, there was no caste system. It was everybody was impacted the same way in some way. And I mean, I know people were hit harder in different areas, but just in general, the concept of COVID-19, it didn't have a face or a label to it. It was what it is. So, like I said, this year has definitely taught a lot. Like I said, it's brought a lot of pain for people. So definitely prayers for anybody who is trying to process, different losses and different things in this season. Because, this time of year hits you hard anyway, but when it's fresh, it takes a different approach. So people that are dealing with loss, and some losses aren't necessarily death. Some losses are divorces. Some losses are, just different things that people were forced to face this year. So definitely just kind of, just encourage somebody.
With that being said, because you said some really good points. One, put everybody on even playing field. It's forced us to look at things different. Our perspective has had to change because we've had no choice. And those things that define so many people, that classism, that all of that stuff was just cast out because Corona didn't care your race, color, creed, sex, none of that. But with that being said, what do you hope to carry forward in 2021, and what do you hope that our country brings forward in 2021?
I just want us to get back to a place of treating each other like human beings, like just basic things. And me and a friend talked about this, and the thing was, I said the number one commandment that we're given, the number one responsibility that we're given as human beings is to love each other. Simple. But this year, through politics and multiple other avenues, we've allowed ourselves to be completely divided. So I would want us to get back to some sense of unity. Because if you look at the history of the country, when things like this happen, typically we rally. So like if you think about 9/11, you think about Pearl Harbor, you think about all these different things, we rally as a nation as for one common cause. And for whatever reason, this thing, we didn't rally, we allowed it to split us straight down the middle.
Well, think
And
about
it became, huh?
well, think about it, because um, I somewhat agree, but I feel that a big part of that wasn't even just the virus, but it was the politics that was taking place in the midst
Oh
of
no, I
that.
agree.
Because we literally became a country divided by this presidential election, and
Yes.
everyone that ran for some form of office on the state level, along with our national level, we were completely divided by our politics, and the virus was something that they used to teeter-totter back and forth on that. And on
Mhm.
top of that, we were at the height of our race, this race war that has always existed. Because yes, there's been some sense of unity in our country at some point in time, but the reality is that classism has always existed for us. We've
Yes.
always been at the bottom of the totem pole and has always been
Mhm.
looked at as less than. And when I say us, yes, I'm talking about we, they, us,
Yeah.
them, the black and brown folks and the indigenous folks. We have always been looked at as less than. And I feel that so much has also been revealed and exposed to
Yes.
us that
Yes.
some people are still finding. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's there. It's in our face. We can't deny it, which is why there were
Mhm.
still some rallies despite the virus, which is why people are still just expressing themselves, whether through art, through their voice, through technology. We're finding ways to communicate that enough is enough, and something better change come 2021. So I'm hoping that if anything changes for us, our mindset changes. And like you said, we see ourselves, we gain a sense of humanity by looking at one another as humans and as a human race. And
Exactly. And no, and I was going to say, you're exactly right. Like these things have always been embedded in the fabric of our country. Like to me, the fabric of that flag is marred with so many different things. And it's not, and a lot of people, you're right, a lot of people are kind of forced to face that for the first time because it doesn't impact them directly.
absolutely.
And that's on a couple of different levels. But I feel like we can get to a place of at least hearing each other's ideas, like to sit to the table and have a conversation. Now, realistically, will that conversation change anything? It won't change magically overnight.
No.
And I don't think it'll ever get to a point where we're on an even playing field. But I think that this year has definitely put a lot of things in play. Like it's revealed a lot. It's revealed a lot about people that I called friend. It's revealed a lot about people that I called associates and acquaintances, classmates, all kinds of things. Like I've learned a lot about a lot of people. um, and it's a lot of things. So like I said, 2020, I feel the things that I would want to take forward is I would definitely want to take the lessons that I learned about myself forward. Like I know for me, transparent moment, one of the big things for me was even as an adult, like learning to stand firm, like stand up for myself and be firm on what I said and be okay with that. And be okay that if you lose some people along the way, it's okay. If if you have to change course sometimes, it's okay. If you're told no, it's okay. Like learning that. I had to learn that this year. So that's a lesson personally I would definitely want to take forward. But as a human race, I would want us to take forward to the understanding that we each hurt, words hurt, and that, until we seek to understand the other, I think that we'll always find ourselves in the same cycle. But we control what we subscribe to. It's not necessarily leadership. Like leadership is a huge piece of this, don't get me wrong. But we control what we subscribe to.
Wow. That's amazing. And I love that. And I want to close with that thought this evening, because that plays right into our thoughts and uses that is posted on our website as well, which is that self-advocacy pays the path for many others. So be your best advocate. You are your best advocate, and don't be afraid of that. Like Tiffany said, if sometimes you're going to be challenged, and if you lose someone along the way, just think about it this way: there are seasons for a reason, and sometimes people, places, things serve a season in our life, but then it changes. And if that season is over, sometimes we got to let it go. We got to move forward. Otherwise, we'll be stuck. So I appreciate you sharing that with us, and I do hope that you continue to grow. We all continue to grow as a human race and as individuals going forward in 2021. Take the lessons learned, because there's some hard lessons from 2020 that is still today ain't over yet. Okay, but there are some hard lessons, many challenges. I feel like we've overcome a lot, we've gained a lot, we've lost a lot, but we still got a long ways to go. And I hope that we reach back and pull forward and embrace what we have. And that even playing field that we've been forced to be on, that we find some way to embrace that and carry that forward as well.
Yes.
So once again, Tiffany, thank you so much for being here with us this evening. You are awesome. I love your creativity. You and your sister. Please go on at Crafty Creations. Is it 214K on Facebook?
It's Crafty Creations 2K14. 2K14.
Yeah, almost.
I got you.
That moment was the follow my first instinct, my first vibe.
You were right.
But I was like, let me second guess myself. No, go with the first. But okay, yes. Well, follow her at Crafty Creations. Right on Facebook, you can message her. Wonderful work ethic, great products. You will not be disappointed. And please continue to follow Tiffany. Also, you can follow us at togetherweshout.com. Find her information there as well under the Power of Art blog. And if you want to give her a shout out, feel free to do so. We've got comments that you can also list that. I actually see a couple of comments here. Please follow through. I got Siobhan, Yvette, Fanon, Damien, Owens. Y'all know from Always Gift Baskets. Always wonderful and supportive.
Hi, Damien. I remember you guys.
Yeah, Solomon as well. But it's all about that. And don't forget the plug that she hollered at. She shouted out in Monk's Corner. The Elegant Tree.
Yes.
With them chewies, y'all. I'm telling you, the little chewies. Say the bye.
Yes.
So, she does wonderful work because she is great at adjusting her recipes for just about any diet. So I'm looking forward to my gluten-free snickerdoodle chewy. Okay, they will give you life. But wonderful evening. I hope you all have a wonderful evening and continue to close out this year on a positive note. And I know this is a tough season for everybody, but it's all right because we all in this together. And just remember, it ain't Christmas without a temptation Christmas. You got to have that temptation Christmas. If you hear that, you already know what it is. I'm just saying, you already know what it is.
Yes.
Somebody say mama is playing.
That's it. Twas the night. There you go. There you go. In my mind. There we go.
Whoa, yes. Cool. I don't know about y'all, but I know I got the broom. My daughter probably got her microphone. We all gonna be lined up, spinning around.
Exactly, and I can see that. I can see that 100%.
And ain't nobody on key, but we close enough. Somebody gotta be the deep voice. Somebody gotta right there with that temptation Christmas, okay? Yes. Ain't nobody. And listen, if you haven't seen it, you can even go on YouTube. But one of my favorite films. I said it we close. We're about to close. I promise you, I'm wrapping up. But one of my favorite pastimes at the holiday time was a claymation Christmas.
Yes.
Remember that? And they had the California raisins. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Y'all don't know about that? What? Listen, check it out. Go on YouTube and type in claymation Christmas. It will give you life. It is wonderful. But there's a lot of childhood memories. And I don't know, what's your favorite song or film for the holidays?
My favorite movie for the holidays is actually Elf. The one
Oh,
with Will Ferrell. I don't know why I love that movie, but I have it on DVD and I actually watched it randomly in July. But I love that movie. I think because it's kind of like I'm a pretty positive person overall. And it's like it's just something positive about that movie. Like I love, so
absolutely,
definitely
absolutely.
love it.
I
So
love
that one,
movies.
and then yeah, and then my favorite Christmas memory. Wow, I have so many. But in recent times, you were actually there, but we did a play at church that I got the chance to be one of the lead characters in. And I dressed up and everybody told me I looked like Cora Jean. So you would have seen Tamla Man that day.
Yes.
Because they had to age me by like 40 years. But
Mhm.
a lot of the songs that I heard that I hear now, we played in the play. So every time I hear the songs, I just see one of my castmates just throwing up snow in the air. And you probably recall what part I'm talking about. I just see that. But that would be like one of my favorite modern memories. But like I said, I always love family. I think family is the most important thing in the holidays. Remember, it's not about what you get, it's what you get. So
Absolutely.
um, embrace your
Amen.
family and look for something positive in every day. That's my other thing. Look for
Absolutely.
something positive.
Absolutely. 'Cause there is something. Well,
Yes.
I got my Temptations playing in the background. I'm going to close this out with our video. Follow us again. TogetherWeShall.com and at Crafty Creation. Oh, did y'all hear this? Was a night before Christmas.
Oh my gosh. I can't.
Somebody got extra. I had an extra. Woo! That's when you know it's the holidays. Merry Christmas.
Oh my gosh. Where's the end button? No,
Peace and love, all. Happy holidays.